Hey everyone, today is June 4th, Thursday. I am Juanito, your friendly neighborhood weight loss loser vlogger. And this week there's been a little bit of confusion. We've talked about two subjects. There was a change and, I don't know if everybody got to see us. So I am actually going to try to cover both topics, and that way we just get through the whole week and I discuss both things, alright? Well, let's get going. Hey everyone, so in regards to personal victories, I can say that there's not just one personal victory for me that was like this huge thing. There was several instances that were just milestones in my weight loss, and some of them I've already mentioned in the past, and some of them maybe you don't know, but the first was me being able to go on the cruise with my family, because I had paid for this cruise. We had been planning it for like a year and a half, and I gained so much weight that I didn't think I was going to be able to do it with them. And 3.5 weeks after my surgery, I go and I get on this cruise, and I was able to pretty much spend time with my family, go to every single event that we did. By the end of the day, I was exhausted, and I was still healing from my surgery and everything. But I was able to do all the tours, go on all the sightseeing trips, go scuba diving, or snorkeling, get sun with them. It was something else, and I had so much fun with them, and I wouldn't have been able to have enjoyed that if I wouldn't have done the surgery and lost the weight. The next thing after that probably was the fact that I was going to probably lose my job. And I had really bad sleep apnea. I was falling asleep at work all the time, and I couldn't see myself going anywhere else. And regardless of the fact that you're not supposed to be discriminated against and things like that, but people look at you, and when you're a heavy, huge guy like I was, people are going to think that you're unhealthy and that you're not going to be a good fit because you're not going to be productive. And honestly, it's true. And I could have gone probably for claimed disability and gotten a handicapped parking spot, and had them accommodate me for my desk and things like that. And my pride wouldn't let me do that. I couldn't bring myself to having to claim that something needed to be done, and my surgery was what I ended up doing. And my surgery, because of that, I ended up not losing my job, getting a raise at that current job, then leaving that job for a better opportunity, for a job that actually I could travel with, which I couldn't do before, and then even leaving that job to the opportunity I'm at now. And I'm even now looking at possibly seeing if there's something else better for me, going back to school, which I couldn't think of in the past, because when I was going to school and I was a heavy guy, before I got huge, I had a hard time. I couldn't even go upstairs and to get into class, and I barely fit into the desk at school at FIU. And those aren't things that aren't obstacles for me anymore, and they're allowing me to have more opportunities, because the weight was stealing so much from me. The next thing would probably be my car. The fact that I was able to get it, and I'm a car guy. I love cars. I can tell you anything about any car, and I'm very much into sports cars, and cars that handle and autocrossing and things like that. And most of those cars are small cars. Like, I would love a Corvette if I could afford it, and at the time I couldn't even afford, or I couldn't get into a Corvette because I wouldn't fit. And the car I had at the time was a Pontiac Vibe GT. My seatbelt barely clicked, and I was looking at any car I got after that. I was going to have to get a seatbelt extension, and I just couldn't bring myself to do that. And the weight loss, that was like one of those personal victories too, that I could sit there and say, okay, I got this car, I fit super comfortably in it, there's there's space, and I don't have to have the seat all the way back just because I couldn't fit. So then the next picture I think after that was being able to go clothes shopping at the big and tall store. I was the only place I can go to get clothing was the big and tall store, and I was able to. The day that I was able to go into like Old Navy and Macy's and JCPenney's and be able to get clothes, that was just a huge thing for me. I actually was at Old Navy the first store that I made the attempt, and I remember being so excited about being able to shop there. Now, in regards to what I did with all my clothing after that, the first thing I did was with my surgeon's program. One of the things they had is a lot of people that were donating clothing to help patients that as they were losing weight could use, and I donated my clothing to them for patients that maybe were even larger than I was that were able to use that clothing as they were coming down. Then as I got into the kind of like 3 and 4X sizes, I had a few friends that were kind of heavy set guys, and I let them kind of go shopping through my wardrobe and figure out if there was anything that fit them and that they liked, and they ended up taking a lot of clothing. And then, towards the end, I gave tons, bags and bags of clothing. I had so much clothing that I ended up donating and giving to Goodwill. And sorry, my sister's jamming out some music over there. And I've given some clothing to friends of mine at work, especially there's this one guy right now that he's going through a hard time. His father passed away, and he's financially tight right now, and he's a bigger guy than I am, and I gave him some of my clothing. And as it is, I still have clothes that are tight on me. The large shirts that I'm a 1X to 2X depending on if it's fitted or not. And there's still clothes that I still haven't gone through. And I try to give the clothes away as I it gets too baggy for me. I try to give it away. I think to me that's kind of like a motivation to not gain the weight again. I did keep one article of clothing. These are the jeans that I bought right before going on the cruise, so that I have some sort of nice pants to take on the cruise. And these are 6X, which I think is equivalent to like a size 66 or 64. And as you can see, they're huge. Let's see. These are my remembrance pants to remember where I came from. And I think actually I fit inside. I can invite somebody else in. So that's pretty much it. I would love to see if you guys have any articles of clothing that you've either like, what have you done with it? Have you kept it as a kind of like a remembrance item like I have? Post up a video. Let us know. I would love to hear about that. So, or, did you cut them up like Nat did, or, turn them into a quilt, or, something cool. I would love to hear great stories like that. I think they're super motivational. So anyways, and that brings us to the end of my little vlog here. Tomorrow you have Alejandro, and this is kind of new for me to introduce Alejandro, which is, I think, really cool. And I hope you guys have a great week. Much love.